Hi, so let's learn the entertainer, Scott Joplin. What a tune. So, we're going to start learning about octaves. So what are octaves? Well, what does oct mean? How many legs has an octopus got? 8. So we know there's only 8 notes in music. We're always talking about that, aren't we? But 1 and 8 are actually the same notes. It's just higher up the octave or lower down the octave. So there's a C, there's a C, there's a C, there's a C, and we can go lower. There's middle C, lower, there's a C, C, C. All right, so they're the octaves. So first, listen to Scott Joplin and maybe find out a little bit about him. And now let's play the introduction. So this introduction is motifs, which is a musical doodle, all based around the octave. So we start really high. And then we play that same thing down the octave. Then we play that same thing down the octave. With something slightly different at the end. So this takes us to our chromatic movement. He goes. So that la la la, we use a semitone. So a micro step down to that note. And in the main melody, he doesn't just go, he goes da da da, like we're creeping up. So those semitones are called chromatic notes or chromatic movement. So the melody goes. So that this, chromatic again. So there's lots of chromatic movement. So let's learn our chromatic scale. I've made a sheet for you, so get your sheet out. There's also a chromatic scale in your John Thompson scale book. But guess what? It's just all the notes of the piano. So if we start on C, we go. Then I go get up to C again, back down. So we've got our main notes on the piano, the main 8 notes. And we've also got chromatic notes, which are little like showtime notes that add a bit of excitement, because as we build up, they're like stepping stones to the main 8 notes. Stepping stone, stepping stone, stepping stone, stepping stone, stepping stone. So in the key of C, all the black notes are the stepping stones. Now, because we're playing all the notes, we need to be careful with our fingers. How do we use our fingers? So fingering, let's use 1 and 3 mainly. Then when we get to that E, let's put a 2 on the F, then 3 on the F sharp, so we can do 1 and 3 again, and then a 2 on the top C. So it's written out for you there. The fingering. Why don't you try the left hand as well? Same fingering, thumb on the C, then 3 on the black note, thumb on the D, 3 on the black note, 2 on the E, thumb on the F, 3 on the black note, thumb on the G, 3 on the black note, thumb on the A, 3 on the black note, 2 on the B, thumb on the C, and down again. And I've attached some manuscript paper. Why not work out the notes in the bass clef and write out your chromatic scale from C to C on your manuscript paper. That'll be really great for your notation. Okay, so they're chromatic notes. So now all we need to do is practice the melody. So just take your time learning the melody. Hooray! That's it, the entertainer, the melody. Fantastic. So let's add some chords. The chords are simply C, F and G, which in your key of C is chord 1, chord 4 and chord 5. So look, let's practice our broken chords. We do these all the time anyway, don't we? But it's so important. So let's go. And that's just helping us make different shapes and inversions around your chord. There's only 3 notes in that chord, yeah? And we're just playing them in a different order. Now let's play them in a block chord, but in an inversion. So we've got root position. Now let's play first inversion and second inversion and down again. So let's play second inversion, first inversion and root position. Now do that with your left hand. You know how to do that, so do your left hand. And do you know what? I do that also in the key of F and G. Just because then you know the inversions in F. We're not in the key of F, but we're just playing, that F chord comes in the C key as well, you see. And the same with G. Because that G chord is chord 5 in C. Okay, don't worry, don't scramble yourself. Just play your broken chords. We've been doing it all along, haven't we? Oh, one more thing. There is a D chord that I didn't tell you about. It's a surprise D chord. Some of you don't know D chord at all. So you could just go for it and play it. It's D, F sharp, A. And those of you that know it, well, you definitely play it. If you get confused by it, miss it out. Don't worry about it. Come back a stage. So we're going to start with stage 1 with our chords. We're going to play our chords in a root position. So I'm just playing C, left hand, C, and then the E and the G. So I'm not bothering with any of the inversions. Root position. C, then F, C, and G. So actually, the timing, it goes like this. We go C, and another C, and then F, another F, C, G, C, C, C. This is where we get our D chord. Then a G. Slightly different here, and I'll tell you about it in a minute. Okay, so guess what I did? I moved the bass, the left hand, down chromatically. So it went, C, B flat. So that's a whole step. Then A flat, G. So from the A flat, G, that's all chromatic. Then G, and back to C. So that chromatic bass line we hear in the left hand plays chromatically all the time because it makes it more showy, it builds up the excitement, yeah? Rather than just going. Sounds fine, but it's a bit more exciting to use some chromatic notes in the left hand. Right? Yeah, I think so too. So there's the chromatic notes in the left hand. Now look, let's get out of this idea of right or wrong. Am I getting it absolutely right? If you're playing your C chord, there's only 3 notes, you're right. I'm just doing a certain pattern where I'm going C and then the E and G together. Umpa, umpa. Creates an umpa-pa sound on the root chord, okay? If you want to just play the block chord, absolutely fine. That's fine too. Stage 2. Now only move on to stage 2 if you've really got stage 1 under your fingers. Yeah, you might not be ready for it. This is getting really advanced really. But we're going to jump around the piano a bit more by using inversions. So I'm going to play the C, then I'm going to play G and C at the top. Then I'm going to jump all the way down to the bottom F and come up to the F and the A. So 2 C's, then bottom F, C, bottom G, G and B, bottom D, and now I've got my chromatic bass. It's a G chord just towards the end. Now look, without you seeing my fingers really clearly and without me seeing your fingers, it's hard to see exactly which inversion you're using. But guess what? Who cares? Because what I really care about and passionately care about is you understanding that there are 3 chords to this song, except for that D. I'll give you that. But there are 3 chords and we're using them in different shapes, different inversions. So look, I'm actually playing here a C and then a G and a C, and then I'm jumping down, if I've done that twice, to the bottom F, then jump up to the A and the C to complete that chord. I'm just breaking up the chord, and then I'm playing a C and then a G and a C, then I'm jumping down to the G, then a G and a B, and then a C and a G and a C. Yeah? But look, if you're playing something a bit different, as long as it's the notes of the chords, that's fabulous. And Scott Joplin would be all up for that. Because what he's trying to show here is that you can jump around the piano with just 3 chords. And you can add some chromatic movement to make it showy. Yeah? And you can use inversions and different shapes to make it a bit showy and play up and down the octave. So we've learnt today about octaves. Remember, octopuses have 8 legs. I don't actually think they have legs, do they? I think they might be called tentacles. Anyway, there's an 8 involved. We've learnt about inversions, which is just the chord in lots of different shapes. And we've learnt about chromatic movement, which is when we use semitones. In the key of C, it's always the black notes actually, so that makes it easy. We use semitones to creep up to the next note. Okay, go really slowly, enjoy the entertainer. I've put on your sheets as well, your notes. It's lasted the test of time, so you don't have to get this all in one go. This is going nowhere. The entertainer is here forever. So go at your own pace. Take your time, enjoy the entertainer. Okay, see you.